Now, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much, Ray.
Let me start by getting your take on how security officials testified today. Did you find them any more forthcoming than they were the day before? There was a lot of back and forth about whether the information in that text chain was classified. Would you say it definitely was?
I would say it definitely was. And unfortunately, they weren't more forthcoming today than they were yesterday, when they basically circled the wagons and denied that the information was classified in any way. I actually quoted the Trump administration's executive order, which actually designates information as being classified or unclassified, depending on whether certain factors are present. Those factors include whether the information at issue has weapon systems named, has information about the operational details, and has information about military plans. And all of those factors were present. And the general who was present today in charge of the Defense Intelligence Agency concurred that all those factors were present. So this is clearly classified information.
It seems like there's a lot of duck and cover then otherwise. President Trump yesterday said critics were just looking for an excuse, saying the first 2 months of his administration were perfect, as he put it. How do you respond to that?
I think that's ludicrous. First of all, the first 2 months of his administration have been chaotic. And I think a lot of my constituents at my recent town hall basically informed me that they are livid about DOGE. They're livid about Elon Musk. They don't like the way that these two entities, the White House and DOGE, are basically conducting the business of the government. They also don't like the fact that our agencies are getting gutted, services are getting cut, and they are being harmed. And, you know, on the chopping block include food stamps, now known as SNAP benefits, as well as Medicaid. And as a child of food stamps and public housing, this is a personal issue, not just a professional one. So let's just set that aside for a second, that his first 2 months have been perfect. That's the most false statement I've heard all day today.
Yeah, well, back to the issue at hand. Do you think that there will be any punishment? Certainly doesn't sound like President Trump is finding any fault here. What do you think the consequences ultimately will be, particularly for Pete Hegseth?
I call for his resignation. You know, Mr. Hegseth has repeatedly denied that he disclosed war plans or classified information in this text chat. Today, we learned the full truth of what was in that text chat. And even after we learned what was in that text chat, he doubled down and tripled down. And so either he doesn't know what classified information is, in which case he is too ignorant for the job, or he does know what classified information is and he's willfully disclosing it, in which case that's another set of problems. Either way, he should not be in charge of the Defense Department and making sure that our men and women in uniform are properly taken care of and that operational security is maintained. Because the one thing that I know is if somebody doesn't take ownership of a mistake or gross negligence, or they don't take accountability, that particular episode is going to recur. It's going to happen over and over again. And the next time, the security lapse could lead to the deaths of Americans.
Yeah, that was going to lead to my last question here in the few seconds we have left. How concerned are you about America's safety and security moving forward?
I'm very concerned. In fact, a mom texted me that her sailor knew better than Pete Hegseth with regard to the disclosure of information on the Signal app. He specifically would be court-martialed or worse if somebody determined that he was conveying the same information that Pete Hegseth was on his own Signal app. And so I think in this situation, Pete Hegseth needs to step down, or he needs to be terminated. We need to find a new leader for the Defense Department, and we need to undertake a full investigation about whether there are any other Signal chats, other group chats on SMS or WhatsApp that might be transpiring with similar classified information or sensitive information. And then we need to do a damage assessment as to whether our adversaries got hold of that information.
Congressman, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much for being with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Ray.